Hey folks, welcome to season 2 of Ice Cream You Mean, where we're locking the fuck in. No more of this rambling shit that you got used to in the first 40 episodes. Well, probably some more of the rambling shit. Maybe a little less of the rambling shit. We're changing it. We're fucking around with the formula. You know,
we're fucking it up.
We're fucking it up. We're putting a little bit of the chemical X in, and that chemical X is long form storytelling. Maybe not.
Fully leaning into video essays.
Video essays. We're trying to hone our attention spans for like longer things. So like, you know, you got used to us doing like a half, like, you know, 20 minutes on one thing, 20 on the other, up to like an hour on the other. Now we're splitting it up. We're getting more granular, more diving deeper into the stuff, you know. So
yes.
With that being said, in this series, we're going to be diving into a couple of lovely mockumentaries, I would guess we would call them. I have issues with the term mockumentaries. We'll get to that later. But yeah, a couple of some fake news from the past. And you want to start with, we'll go chronological order here?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start back in, what was this, 2015. Whoa. With the Cannibal in the Jungle. I believe it was 2015. Look, I could look it up. I'm going off the dome here.
Off the dome.
Cannibal in the Jungle, 2015. Yes.
Yeah.
10 years ago, celebrating a lovely 10-year anniversary. Actually, just about 10 years, because it was came out on May 24th, 2015.
That's fucked up.
So we were both in Napa Valley College. We probably had already met each other by the time it came out.
Yeah,
which is
probably.
crazy. This marks our friendship. The Cannibal in the Jungle. Surprised. Did you bring this up to Mercer? Do you remember at the time?
I don't think I did.
Anthropology or anything?
I had bioanthro with somebody else.
Okay.
So maybe there.
I feel like this would fit more with bioanthro.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away. But yeah, the Cannibal in the Jungle. I'm gonna start with a little recap here. So the Cannibal in the Jungle, because JD didn't want to watch it because they wanted to see if it would still hold up spookily, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So for JD, for the audience, the Cannibal in the Jungle opens with archival footage, complete with the sound of a film reel for maximum authenticity.
Super 8, this is old footage.
Super 8 footage with like the
yeah,
which I was like, all right, doesn't really add anything, but okay.
Cut that shit out.
Yeah. We learned that a team of 3 scientists, as evidenced by them looking at birds with binoculars, went into the jungle of Flores, the island of Flores, Indonesia, in the 1970s. Of these 3, only Timothy Darrow made it back. One of the others was found, or at least his remains were found, quote, butchered beyond recognition. Timothy Darrow was charged with double murder and at least 1 count of cannibalism. But he maintained his innocence and that his expedition had been attacked by a local mythical creature. As the opening explains the situation, we're told that what we're seeing is the never-before-seen footage from the expedition. We get some half-assed backstory on Tim. So my eyes kind of glazed over for this part. You know, Tim likes birds, until finally someone says that Timothy Darrow was like the, quote, Indonesian equivalent of your O.J. Simpson trial. And I was like, Indonesian O.J. Simpson? That's a wild comparison to make for... I mean, O.J. didn't eat anybody.
No.
You know, there was no Bronco chase going on here. And I don't think, you know, dare I say, I don't think an ornithologist is at the same level of celebrity as a football player. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, so you're making a lot of points here.
I got a few points, but you know, the Bird has mad in the comments. I think bird people are actually pretty nice, like bird watchers are like a nice people. So.
Lots of patience.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Tim was an American, and the body they found cannibalized was their Indonesian field guide. So we get some shots of people burning the American flag while the U.S. Foreign Service representative, heavy air quotes there, tells us that this brought Indonesia to the point of nearly storming the embassy, much like Iran. Ooh, spooky Muslim countries. Our main protagonist / narrator is Dr. Jim Hornbeck. I'm not sure. I would go with Hornbeck. It's spelled weird. Says that Darrow was almost a Colonel Kurtz type figure. So we've got several comparisons in the space of 2 minutes. We've got O.J. Simpson, Iran, storming the embassy, and Colonel Kurtz from Heart of Darkness. What's the Apocalypse Now? So there's a lot going on here. A lot of comparisons to more notable things. Hornbeck tells us that he was Hornbeck is a paleoarchaeologist working in Indonesia when he found a, quote, new species of human, a species of little wild men. So we're told a little bit about this species, Homo floresiensis.
I still don't know. I still can't say it right. Homo
floresiensis. It's floresiensis.
Floresiensis. Okay, floresiensis.
I always thought it was like Homo fluorescence, right, or something like that. Anyway, it's named after the island, right? It's nicknamed the Hobbit. We're sticking with the Hobbit for the rest of this because it's easier for me to say. I'm an idiot. But we're told that these hobbits were not, quote, pipe-smoking, waistcoat-wearing Bilbo Baggins living in his genteel hobbit hole, entertaining visiting wizards. They were quite savage. Hornbeck also explains that the hobbits were capable of using tools and that there was also evidence of fire pits on the island, so they were able to cook. We could let them cook. Hornbeck says that when they discovered the Hobbit remains on the island, the Australians on the team were excited, but the Indonesians were concerned about the Ebu Gogo, a mythical creature matching the Hobbit's description by some other fake anthropologists. Quote, short, erect, bipedal, both existed on Flores Island. Hornbeck decided to investigate whether or not the hobbits still existed on the island, so he met with villagers who described their own encounters with the hobbits / Ebu Gogo, and realized that Darrow could have been the victim of a hobbit attack. Hornbeck presents some evidence, such as a flint blade used to butcher one of the bodies, a flint blade that was also found in Darrow's bag, and a shocking reveal that the flint blades are in the same style and were found at the archaeological site. Flag on the play here because these look. I know a thing or two about it. I'm not a paleoanthropology guy. I really was never that into it. But flint blades are kind of pretty complex, right? The flint blades that they show here are like a kind of later like Neolithic style, where they have a full tang, right, to attach to a handle. Mm-hmm. If you look up the actual Flores Hobbit, quote unquote.
So you're telling me it doesn't look like that?
It does not look like that, right? You don't have anything to attach to anything. They look kind of more like Odilon choppers. I don't know their name. Right? It's like a sharp.
Ben, I can't stand us. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are realizing that we're kind of a little smart,
but also kind of dumb. Like we don't remember anything.
So it doesn't look like that, but instead it kind of looks like that, guys. So.
There's a sharp edge, and it's a rock with a sharp edge, right? Yeah. That's what actually existed. What Hornbeck shows us is like, closer to
that one.
That's what actually exists. Hornbeck shows us some bullshit. So just flag on the play there. These are not of the era. This is completely. These flip blades don't fit. Okay. Fact check. Hornbeck met with Darrow in prison and was allowed to make a single recording, only one. In the recording, Darrow describes his encounter with the hobbits and reveals that he captured footage of them, which we already know because they kind of blew their load on the first minute. So, Hornbeck decides to retrace Darrow's trail to search for the hobbits, presumably to fill time, maybe a little bit of setup for what Darrow was looking for. We get like 3 minutes talking about the reason for the expedition, which was birds. They wanted to go find a bird that they thought was extinct, but it was not extinct. Oh, look, it's a parallel. Wow, look at that. Darrow, in the quote only allowed interview, described strange markings found in the woods, what looked like a V carved into a tree, which we'll come back to that later in the series because this is going to become a theme. As we get more of Darrow's backstory, we get some reenactments of them in the woods. Hornbeck's expedition finds the markings that Darrow described, and they decide to set up their cameras to capture any Hobbit activity near these markings. Meanwhile, we get the reenactment of Darrow's team waiting in a blind spot to find the Hobbits, which resulted in them managing to record some Hobbit calls. Hornbeck has these hobbit calls and decides to use them to draw the hobbits towards it. Little bait. So soon his team finds the remains of a pig high in the trees, so clear evidence of an arboreal predator, much like a hobbit. They live in the trees partially. Also bipedal, which we know. That means 2 legs. And runs like hell. In an eerie instance of history repeating itself, we learn that Darrow's team also found a butchered pig near their camp. Hornbeck reaches a village in the mountains and spots a totem that functions as a fuck around and find out warning to the Go-Go. So the kind of backstory that we're given is that the villagers burned like a hobbit village. And so the hobbits live with the ancestral trauma of knowing that humans will come and burn their shit down. And this does actually have roots in like Go-Go lore. There is like lore that like they burned down a village of these small wild people, and then they ran off into the woods, and only a male and female survived. And kind of whole thing. Hornbeck finds a classic bone pile and winds up determining that the missing scientist's remains were mixed into the bones, found a skull. And then he shows that he won't be caught lacking and pulls out a gun. As
strapped.
He's strapped. He stays strapped. As he packs up the jawbone and skull. He also starts talking about the aura and vibes of the jungle that he's in. He's really getting into like the darkness, kind of more like a little Apocalypse Now. He's kind of like losing himself on this journey, maybe. Darrow's one recording was apparently like 5 hours long because it's still going, and he's still talking about birds. But thankfully, the bird talk is finally cut short by Darrow noticing a series of markings on trees. And then the hobbits take out one of his team members by cutting a rope while he was climbing to look at some birds.
Damn.
That was the Indonesian field guide, yeah. Hornbeck talks some jargon about electron microscopy and flint flakes on bones, and that the bones they found were contemporary, right? They were new bones, fresh, so they know the kills were relatively recent. He meets with a retired officer, like police officer, who investigated the Darrow case and sees some crime scene footage, which included shots of the camera from Darrow's expedition, which, again, we know because they opened the fucking documentary with the footage.
No surprises here.
Well, that's kind of like the MacGuffin of the whole thing is like finding this footage, but it's also like they started the thing with the footage, so we know it's not effective MacGuffining, if you ask me. Right?
At least on mermaids, they like kept it way towards the end, and they showed it for like a couple of beats, right?
Right, and they do it like a similar thing here, but it's like they open with showing the footage, and then they like close with it too. So they kind of try to bookend it, I think, which is less effective because it's like they should have just let that naturally build, I think, with like, oh look, like his footage, it exists, but we couldn't find it, and then like at the end they're like, we found it, oh my god, but instead they're just like they open with the footage and then they close with and it's like, all right, let's
alrighty,
all right, we know it exists.
We gotta pack it up.
You took the footage yourself. We know with hindsight now. So Darrow says that they decided to bury the body of the first dead scientist in a cairn. So they took a while of piling rocks over the body. And then as they walked back to camp, they ran into the hobbits and realized that they were going to the cairn to grab a little snack. They ran back and found themselves surrounded by hobbits while the hobbits were eating their dead friend. And so they decided to book it out of there. But unfortunately, only Darrow managed to escape, as scientist number 2 was torn apart by hobbits while the hobbits mocked his screams. That was featured, was like the hobbits can kind of mimic human language, but not completely. Back in the present day, Hornbeck's team hears hobbit screams in the night, and Hornbeck decides to pop up and show him. So he starts shooting his gun into the darkness. It's kind of the classic Mountain Monsters move, as we know. Hornbeck decides this close encounter is enough and calls the expedition to a close. But he realizes that maybe, just maybe, he has a moonshot to do with his collected evidence that he can exonerate Darrow. Right.
Wow.
So he's like, I have to go back to the forest to catch concrete evidence, and then he returns heavily armed with a bunch of guys with guns to get some more footage of the hobbits. He's ready to go to war with them. Dare kills more time describing how he hiked back from his expedition, which don't care. We know that you got back. So
Don't care. Didn't ask.
didn't ask. Hornbeck's second expedition discovers that the hobbits took down his camera trap and speaker that he'd been using as bait. He finds the camera nearby and checks the footage, which does not show a hobbit, but it does show that the camera was knocked off the tree forcefully. Hornbeck did not get his hobbit footage, but they finally tracked down the camera. Of Darrow's camera, the MacGuffin has been revealed, and they reveal that the footage from the expedition shows a live hobbit, just like you saw at the beginning of the movie. Isn't it crazy? The footage is the exact same as the reenactment footage. It has the same actors in it that are also doing the reenactment, which seems weird, but they kind of put it through like the Super 8 filter. Got some After Effects on it, and then Darrow's version of events is vindicated, but unfortunately he died in prison, so it's too late. I don't know why they included that. They could have just had him get exonerated, but R.I.P. to a legend. And then the film ends with a dedication to Darrow and the other scientists who died, either direct or indirect victims of the hobbits. So it's all played, completely straight. But as we mentioned, as we alluded to, it is all bullshit. It's a mockumentary. It's not a real documentary, even though there's no reason that people at the time would have known this, right? Which, they got some flack. Discovery got some flack for this, or Animal Planet did. Darrow is not an American ornithologist. He's a character portrayed by a Welsh actor. And Hornbeck is not an Australian anthropologist. He's a character portrayed by a Scottish actor. So not even the accents were real, which is...
Damn.
That's the power of fucking British actors, to just go to any other accent. Taking all our jobs. The film was written by Chris Foley and Vaibhav Bhatt. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name there, Vaibhav. Foley is a development executive for Animal Planet and has been for a couple decades now.
Damn.
He's also behind River Monsters, which is super solid. I love me some River Monsters. Behind Tanked, which is a fish tank reality show. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. I feel like there's some dark energy there because they're like both like Long Island guys. And they're like, I don't know, it's just like Long Island guys living in Las Vegas making fish tanks. So there's some darkness there for sure.
They're on the wrong coast, I think.
I feel like they were probably like, New York's getting too liberal, Long Island's getting too... and they were like, we're gonna fuck it. They fucked off to Nevada. And they should have fucked off to Texas. I think that's like the move. But, it was like 10, 15 years ago.
They wanted to be unique then.
It's a weird show. It's a weird show for sure. I watched a couple seasons of it. There's a lot of it though. So sidebar, maybe someday we'll visit Tanked. But Foley also is responsible for Top Hooker, which is a fishing competition show. That one only lasted one season though, so did not have the big success of Tanked or River Monsters. But
he's on top of that fish game.
Kind of king of the fish game. For Planet. Yeah, the aquatic master of the sea. Vaibhav Bhatt is more kind of on our beat. He's more the executive producer level. But he's the EP of Portals to Hell, Destination Fear, which we love. Big fans of Destination Fear. Ghost Nation and My Horror Story. So kind of now he's moved fully into that kind of paranormal space.
Ghost Nation is Ghost Hunters, but new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is something that we'll kind of discuss later in the series, but there's some kind of icky aspects of these kind of fake documentaries. And personally, I'm gonna stand here on business, put my 10 toes down.
You need a clock that he's standing on business.
I do not like the term mockumentaries for these because I think a mockumentary should be reserved for kind of a satire, right?
Yeah.
Like we got Your Office, you got your Spinal Tap, you got Parks and Rec, Modern Family, whatever it is, played kind of for laughs. Mm-hmm. Satire, it's fun, it's funny. These are just lying to people. It's kind of. I don't know. It's got like magician energy, maybe at best. It has like magician energy of like, oh, we're lying to you. You should know that magic isn't real, or is it? Like that's what's going on with these mockumentaries, which I'm not about. So I think maybe we'll workshop a name later, but I'm not about mockumentary.
Workshop mockumentary.
Yeah. So let's take a little look at the kind of paleoarchaeology around the quote subject of this film.
Let's go.
I'm going to attempt to say the scientific name again, Homo floresiensis. And again, we're sticking with hobbits here because I can't be bothered.
Homie fluorescence.
Homily floris. All of the direct evidence we have for hobbits comes from the Langvois cave on Flores Island in Indonesia. There are human remains ranging from 100,000 to 60,000 years old, and there are some tools, which is pretty cool. And again, worth noting that the tools that we do have are not like the ones we see in the show, which are like complete flint knives full with fangs and a single blade, or at least possibly even double bladed. It's kind of hard to tell just from looking at them. I'm not a paleoart guy. But at least one defined blade. The evidence for tool making that we have from the hobbits in reality are more archaic. We're talking small hand axes, scrapers, and choppers. Basically, we are talking rocks with one side chipped off, rather than a fully formed two-faced blade. Right?
Yeah.
The tools that we associate with the hobbits date from around 190,000 to 50,000 years ago, which is a pretty large space. So for sure they were around on the island for a long time, or at least archaic and early modern humans were around, right? We don't know for sure that all the tools were attributable to the hobbits, right? We just know that they were kind of there at the same time too. So we do believe that the hobbits did overlap with us as anatomically modern humans. And the current best guess for what caused their extinction is kind of the same as the Neanderthals, same as the Denisovians, and that is coming into contact with us. We fucked their shit up. Which we kind of did with every other human species, which is,
Loki trying to do it right now.
We're going after ourselves now. We're gonna we're gonna own goal it.
Own goal.
Yeah. And I'm not going to get too into early hominid stuff here, but the origins of the hobbits are kind of mysterious. There are a lot of theories, but the general consensus seems to be that the remains we have show traits that are more common in earlier human species, right? So meaning that it's split from the branch that would become like Homo erectus and eventually kind of lead to us earlier. So like the last common ancestor could be more like Homo habilis or Homo ergaster. Which, if you think back, those are kind of like not even like fully walking, right? Homo erectus, despite the funny name, just means he was walking around on 2 feet, right? Homo habilis was making tools. That's kind of the Homo habilis thing. But they were kind of still like hunched over, right? And they were doing their things like over 1 million years ago, so well before anatomically modern humans. Matt Tocheri, who is a paleoanthropologist with the Smithsonian, explains, quote, if we were to find a skeleton like this in East Africa or East African sediments that dated to 1.5 million to 2 million years ago, it would not be that big of a surprise. So basically, the hobbits seem like a remnant of kind of an earlier stage of hominid evolution, right? And yet they existed potentially till we were around on the same island, right? They were short, obviously, at about 3 foot tall, with unusually large feet for their body size. So close to JD, but JD still got some high.
I'm there. I literally wrote down, do you think that if I did like the Neanderthal DNA thingy, I would instead get Homo floresiensis?
It's possible. I mean, yeah.
They just have hyperthyroidism, okay, man?
Yeah, I mean, that's also a theme with the Homo floresiensis is like people saying, oh, they're just like sick. Anatomically modern humans, right. They are sick as fuck, honestly.
They're sick as hell.
They're short. Fellas? They're short. They got big feet, small clavicles, and curved shoulder blades, so they look like they were hunched over all the time, which is all just describing JD more. They also
that's why I have to start sitting up instead of having like the office neck.
Oh yeah, for sure, the tech neck.
Yeah, so I have to. All the time. I have to constantly serve just so I don't have to really turn into my ancestors.
Yeah. It's the cave that calls for you. JD yearns for the long cave. Yeah. They also had longer arms and wider, like their pelvis to shoulder ratio is different. They have wider pelvises than we do as modern humans. there are tools found near the remains, and there is some evidence of charring on the bones near the remains as well, which was actually mentioned by Hornbeck. So that is based on, actual, they probably were able to make fire, or at some point an early hominid was able to make fire in that cave, because we do have evidence of anatomically modern humans in that cave as well. It's a big ass cave. It's pretty cool. Good spot, prime real estate for early people. But we have no evidence at all of symbolic culture, no ornamentation, no markings, or evidence of deliberate burials among the hobbits. So even carving symbols into trees, we don't have any evidence of that. It's generally believed that they were descendants of an early hominid that gradually evolved, kind of island dwarfism is what it's called, over time on the island. Much like the small elephants that also were found on Flores, right? They were kind of like tinier, like elephant-like things that they look like tiny elephants, basically, which is pretty
little pygmy elephants.
Yeah. There's also, obviously, there's no evidence of boats, so how the ancestors of the hobbits got to Flores is kind of a mystery, because it's always been an island, even when the water levels were much lower. And the theories to that kind of range from natural rafts to being washed out to sea by a tsunami. And
Goddamn.
they just kind of got washed to a different island, basically. But it's still a mystery. We don't really know how their ancestors got there. We don't know what happened. There's a lot of mysteries about the hobbits. Again, it all comes from one cave, which is kind of not a whole lot. And, there's a few remains, so that's kind of why we think they're a species rather than remains of a few different individuals, right? So that's why we're like, oh, there could be a species rather than just like one anatomically modern human with like dwarfism or something like that. But we do know that they did overlap with anatomically modern humans in the area, and the film also did not make up the concept of the Ebu-Gogo. So I found this interesting. The Ebu-Gogo was a concept in the folklore of the Nage people on Flores. Ebu means grandparent, and Gogo means one who eats anything. And the Ebu-Gogo in Nage lore is described as being a small, hairy, with long arms and long, dangly titties that she would throw over her shoulders to run, and she would eat children, and kind of all this classic witchy, wild people stuff. The ethnographer Gregory IV, who first documented and collected stories of the Ebu-Gogo for Western audiences, later commented that, quote, dimensions of female breasts, unfortunately, are one of the many things that cannot be gauged from the paleontological evidence.
Damn.
Which is unfortunate. As our resident monster fucker, I'm sure it's very hard to hear. So we just have to accept the mystery of what hobbit titties were like. We cannot say for sure. We can only speculate. The Leo people on Flores also have a concept of an ape man called the Lai Hoa, which they describe as a small, hairy, bipedal creature. And of course, the film. And then there's also like the Orang Pendek in Indonesia at large, which is kind of associated with orangutans. I think that might have been like folklore about orangutans before they were kind of like known about, Of course, the film is not the first to draw comparisons between the hobbits and the Ebu-Gogo. We cannot assign either blame or credit to them for that. But we can say that there are some issues with the comparison. For one thing, the Nage people and the Leo people both live on the other side of the island and are kind of cut off from the western side of the island by a range of mountains. And as yet, again, the only physical evidence we have of hobbits is on that western side of the island in that one cave. This is not to say that hobbits couldn't travel around the whole island, but Long Hua Cave is on the land of the Marangat. Sorry to my Flores Island listeners, Mengurai people, who do not have any equivalent of the Ebu-Gogo or the Lai Hoa in their folklore. So they don't have stories of small wild people, even though they live on the side of the island with the evidence of small wild people at some point. Forth argues that the fact that these figures exist in the local folklore and predate the discovery of the hobbits remains means that there must be something to these accounts, and that the discovery of the remains really only adds justification to the folklore. He argues that the Leo people don't care about whether the scientific establishment believes in the Lai Hoa in a book that is all about his journey to prove the existence of the Lai Hoa and that they're actually living hobbits. So I don't have any issues with the folklore aspect, obviously, but I do think that fourth is kind of falling into the egghead cryptid bro trap, because it's like, if the Leo people don't care, what do you care about proving that this is real, right? Come on. Let it rock, let it rock as a story, let it remain as folklore and a cool, weird little guy in the woods. And if it someday turns out that the Laihua or the Ebugogo, A, exist, or B, are the descendants of hobbits, then that's totally sick. But yeah, if the Leo people don't care, none of your business. The hobbits are a mystery of paleoanthropology at this point. Their existence does still change our understanding of Homo sapiens' place in the evolutionary web. And the hobbits were weird little guys, and I think that's pretty neat. So that's kind of the basis of the cannibal in the jungle. Which so you selected this one for me.
Yes, I did.
What made you?
What made you?
What
Okay,
made you choose this one?
So Ben, I was born in no, because I genuinely did not want to watch it because I don't want to I think I am sick and tired of watching something and it not being that scary anymore to me.
Yeah.
And especially revisiting stuff that I was scared of when I was a little kid. I think one of the only things that I genuinely what?
Little kid, to be clear, this was 10 years ago, so you're really...
No, I mean, the stuff that I was scared of as a little kid is The Mummy, dinosaur,
Jurassic Park,
Park, the fucking last dinosaur kind of thing. So it's I know that I'm not going to rewatch that because I don't want to take away the feeling, but also I know I'm going to be very scared still of The Mummy. I don't think I'm going to be watching it with my feet on the ground. So I didn't want to do that with Cannibal in the Jungle because I do genuinely, as you were describing certain scenes, I was oh, shit, I fucking remember that.
You can remember the scene and that it kind of hit at the time. Yeah.
And I remember exactly how I watched it and then how I was laying down on the couch watching it.
Feet were off the ground.
Yeah, feet were off the ground. They were probably stuck next to my mom kind of stuff because my mom loved that kind of stuff. And then I chose it because it's I think I maybe brought it up during the Mermaids documentary one, maybe offhand, because I know that it was my turn to give you a Mermaids documentary.
Yeah.
I had to bestow it upon you, but also because we do have a little bit of we got a little brain when it comes to this kind of stuff. Whereas during that time, I probably had, I don't think I did bioanthro yet at that time, maybe just had little hints of it. So
sure, yeah.
I probably had just finished linguist. No? Do you think we'd already
linguistics was later, right? Wasn't it?
I don't know. When did we?
I think that might have been 2016. I feel like that might have been the last year we were.
Yeah. So college. I probably had cultural anthropology first.
Yeah.
And then bioanthro later. So it was I wanted to give you your own Mermaids to think about, but also I didn't want to watch it and I wanted you to watch it and tell me what you thought of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was definitely kind of a revisit. I mean, Mermaids had some kind of pseudo anthropology as well, right? Yeah. They had some underwater people, aquatic ape theory type shit, right?
They had the damn it, I had it open, but all those people who could dive for long periods of time, and they'd be actually that's because they're descendants of this,
evolving. Right?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is a similar thing in terms of well, some things happen that are a little weird, so maybe this is which again, it's not a terrible concept. I do appreciate at least that they tied in the local folklore. I thought that was cool. When I looked up, I was at first I was Ebugogo, is that even, is that something they made up? Because again,
you hadn't known about the Ebugogo
I had
before
not,
this.
No, because again, I feel just the effort of being oh, cannibals. Cannibals is a very loaded concept in anthropology, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's been used historically so often to dehumanize people for colonization, to be well, we need to civilize these people because they're gonna eat us, they're eating each other. It's crazy, and generally speaking, that's never been really what's happening. It's not that widely practiced. Sometimes there's funerary cannibalism. There's cases where cannibalism happens, but it's generally not. I don't know. It's taboo in most cultures. I don't know. It's a thing, right? So the kind of cannibals in the jungle thing, I was a little ew, this is just conceptually, as more of a cultural anthropology guy, kind of icky territory to be like these like Indonesia. We're in the Indonesian jungle looking for like cannibals, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, I was not necessarily expecting them to put too much effort in when there's just like, yeah, fucking cannibals exist in the jungle. Fuck them. Like, who knows? These people are eating people. So yeah, I was not aware of the Epigoga. Were you aware of that prior to the watching the documentary?
Yeah. I'm a child of Josh Gates.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
he's been around the world, Mr. Worldwide type shit. So I did have that. I knew about it in the sense of like, this is similar to XYZ kind of thing. So I knew about it offhand from like Josh Gates television shows, Factor Fake type stuff, Destination Truth era stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. You
Did
hadn't
Josh
known
Gates
about
have
that?
better luck proving the Epigoga?
No,
Yeah.
no, because I do think it was also around either it was like they filmed around the same time for this kind of stuff because it was like probably like a combo episode of like the Orang Pendek and then the Epigogo right. Or like something like that or like but I think he didn't have a better time, but he had a more real time.
Sure. Yeah, I mean Flores Island seems like a very interesting place, like just like biologically, zoologically, things were happening. I mean, we talked about like tiny elephants. There are also like rats that were like dog sized, and like Komodo dragons are there. It's all like it's kind of land. It's some pretty interesting animals going on there. So
yeah,
again, it's like I think it is like that kind of like doesn't take too much a stretch of credibility to be like, oh, but maybe like the hobbits are still like fucking around in the woods over there. But it's also like, you know, people live all over the island. Like there are like a lot of tribes and a lot of different like ethnic groups and people with like that have been on the island for a long time. So yeah, it makes sense that you can find some folklore about like wild people living in the woods. But I mean, you can do that with a lot of different cultures around the world too. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I think the Hobbit thing, that like urge that kind of anthropologists had to be like, oh, but this could prove that the hobbits are real and still around and wandering the woods because science and folklore are coming together was just like total like egghead cryptid shit where it's like, I mean, look, it's cool, but again, like it's kind of like the Denisovians, right? Like Denisovians are like another kind of human species, and I think they just discovered like a full skull, but for like I think a few decades, all they really had was a couple teeth. And they were like, but these teeth are not shaped like the same way that like anatomically modern human. Again, this is getting into real fucking egghead nerd shit that I don't care about. But like people are just like, the teeth don't form quite correctly, so it's like a different species because like they wouldn't be able to, you know. And it's like so kind of granular. Again, the early hominid stuff. It's just not. It's very very pedantic, I would say, and very kind of a lot of semantic arguments and like very kind of like, well, this one, like, look at the formation of the occipital lobe here and the skull means that this has to be a different species, right? A lot of people are like rushing to call anything a different species too. So there is like that energy that's a lot of people want to kind of run wild with stuff and be like, well, this is a new thing, and it's like not always, right? Like, and this was kind of in an interesting era where now there's been more findings about the hobbits that also kind of push stuff back. Like at the time that this documentary came out, they still thought that the hobbits were around up to like 18,000 years. Now we're like, well, we don't think that these were Homo floresiensis. We think these might have been anatomically modern human, like the later remains that were found like 18,000 years ago. So they kind of pushed them back to like 50,000 years ago, right? Which is still a long time and still an overlap with what we think of as anatomically modern humans coming to the island, but it's not like they were like rocking around you know, that recently, as far as we know, which again we don't know that much because all we have is one fucking cave. So
that is such, I know you said like prime real estate of a cave, but like prime real estate of a cave,
it is. I mean, that's the thing, it's like we have because we have Homo floresiensis. I think that they, and then we also have like anatomically modern human like paleo remains there too. So the cave has been visited by humans for like 200,000 years, whether those were Homo floresiensis or us. so that's also kind of what muddies the water in terms of like the tools and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Right? It's like who made these? We can't 100% be sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were a little too smart this episode.
I mean,
bring back. We gotta say something crazy.
But so like obviously, could you fuck a hobbit? Yes. Would you be able to breed a hobbit? Maybe not. That's the mystery though. That's
that's like the difference. Could you make love?
Right, you can make love to it, but would you get?
Would it be fruitful union? Is the thing.
Would the baby be sterile too? Would it be like a hybrid? I mean, yeah. So those are questions. I mean, obviously, I think yes, you could fuck it.
You could.
You could. As far as we know, they were definitely looking a little bit more ape-like.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely significantly hairier than us. But hey, look, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. It's all good. Kind of like a mini Bigfoot, basically, is what you're trying to bang. You're banging a hobbit.
Good God. I mean, okay. Yeah. Let me think of in the ways that I was watching my thingy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you have obviously you've had your gripes about it, right? But what? A couple. What? Okay. In watching it, what were some of the things that you're like, oh, I fucks with it, like.
I mean, I think knowing, obviously, like kind of knowing that it's all bullshit. I did like the use of sound. I think was effective. Like I think like some of like the Hobbit screams and stuff like that. And then there was like a part where like they had the hobbits like mocking the guy as he was getting like killed by the hobbits.
Yeah.
And it was like they were like, help me, help me, help me. And I was like, that's kind of good. That's kind of good. That's like not a bad like kind of sound creepy noise going on. And yeah, like the Hobbit screams were probably my favorite part of it. Because I was like, oh, that's kind of creative. When you actually see like the footage, like at the very end, they show like more of the footage, and that sucked. That was trash. I gotta be.
Maybe that's why they're like, so before you click away, we'll at least see you a part that's like kind of good.
Yeah,
but if you make it to the end, my bad.
It looked. I was like, how does this look like the same quality as like Mermaids: The Bodies Found when this came out like several years later? How is this like the same quality of CGI here? I mean, I think that's the main thing I liked. I didn't like Darrow and I didn't like Hornbeck, and those were like the main two guys.
Unlikable mains.
Unlikable mains, at least for me. I mean, I don't know. Go, yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. I mean, especially like the Hornbeck thing of him. I guess like a little anthropologically triggered there, of him being like, oh, you're a paleo anthropologist that's just gonna go into like ethnography now. Oh yeah, right. You're just gonna go change up the game completely. Like it's like they're different subdisciplines. Okay, they're not.
Guys, I'm so sorry. We will make the jokes later, but we're serious business here right now.
Yeah, you're telling me you're getting grants to look around in the fucking woods. You're a fucking dust off some bones, buddy. You go back to get your little fucking brush out, make some fucking squares.
How do you think that was the proposal grant looked like for that whole situation?
Of being like, I'm gonna go find. Yeah, it was, again, that's unclear because he did 2 expeditions, and the second one was purely to prove that the hobbits exist to exonerate Darrow. I don't think an IRB would approve of that. That doesn't seem like wholly. I don't know.
That was his own. That was his own money.
That's got to be self-funded to be like, I'm going out to the woods to prove the innocence of the O.J. Simpson of Indonesia.
Yeah, so he's leaving behind all of the students that he's sort of grading, and he's like, guys, I'm going on a journey to find myself, and then like offhand, he's like, find OJ.
Yeah.
If
the flint blade does not fit, you must acquit. If the
Shut the fuck up. I can't believe that. The OJ's.
I was just like, this is wild. It's a wild thing. Because it was like a guy who was supposed to be like a Dutch journalist in Indonesia, which again I was like, all right, colonizer, go off, king.
Like, what are you doing there?
He's like is the equivalent of your O.J. Simpson trial, and it's like, Is it?
Is it?
All right.
It's sort of giving the energy of like guy trying to relate to
Yeah,
Jamaican
right.
culture. He's like, this is what you call a Euro, J. Simpson. You know this? You're like,
yeah.
no, dog.
Not at all.
What?
Not really.
The fuck?
Yeah. I mean, the all the references were pretty. I mean, pretty old. I mean, in terms of like that, and then also being like, oh, this is just like Apocalypse Now. It's also like, oh yeah, another movie from the 70s. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Making the Apocalypse Now comparison was very interesting because when you were describing it, and I was like remembering images of it. For some reason, I had instead of Apocalypse Now, I had the Cannibal Holocaust and Jungle Holocaust come up in my mind and stuff. Or do you know that? Yeah. So I was like, were they low-key trying to do one of them? Were they low-key trying to do?
Right. I guess, Cannibal Holocaust is a good comparison too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is another fake documentary as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Were they trying to do the Animal Planet version of
Cannibal
Holocaust?
Yeah.
They don't. Okay, the only thing about that is they don't have to prove that the guys are not dead, because immediately clocked that one of those was a Filipino actor that I had grown up watching on television.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, not real.
Yeah.
Scary, but not real. I know him.
I know him.
I know he was not back there. He was in the Philippines. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and our boys have gone on to bigger and better things as well. They were both in some TV shows as well. Both Ardero and Hornbeck. I think one of them was in like fucking Sons of Anarchy or something.
Ooh.
They're both kind of like old white guys, not in a big role. And one of them was in like an Avengers movie, I think, or like a Marvel movie. I mean, Winter Soldier, I think, was like an Asian or something. Again, not huge roles, but they're working actors. This didn't, this was just one part of their illustrious careers.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere to start somewhere.
Yeah, kind of middle of their careers. I think they're both. Yeah. I mean, they're both probably in their like 60s now, I would say. But,
oh yeah, it has been some time.
So maybe maybe 50s, but they're both they're in the regal statesman era of their acting careers at this point.
No longer having to do any Cannibal in the Jungles.
Hopefully not. I hope this was a point of their careers that they look back on and feel a little ashamed of.
How did you watch this, Ben? Were you taking notes and pausing as you were watching?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I had to break it up a little bit. I was I didn't want things to get by me that I was like, this seems like important story wise. Like I simply must zoom in on this. Like obviously the Flint when that came up, I was definitely doing the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of just like, oh, I know those blades are not. That's not accurate.
That is not correct.
I was like, there's no way. There's simply no way the formations would fit like that. Once again, I'm sorry that I'm showing my ass here as like a former anthropology person. But yeah, I'm a former anthropology person. Yeah. So
nerd.
Yeah, just a little bit. Nerd. Like,
yeah.
I could never do field archaeology, let alone paleo. Anthropology, not for me.
No, I don't think I'm physically capable of doing it.
Yeah.
But also, it's just I can't.
Yeah. And again, the early hominid stuff. I'm sure I got something wrong. Don't at me on that. I'm not overly concerned with it. It's okay.
It's been some time.
Let's let it go.
We
Let's let it go. It's been 10 years since we were in bioanthropology class together.
10 years.
It's been Obviously,
that's crazy.
I stuck with anthropology a few more years after that, but that's still like 8 years since I graduated college. So, undergrad. So that
really just aged us.
yeah. We're the unks. This was JD. Remember this as being part of their childhood. Let the record show that they were in community college at the time when this came out.
I've never listen. As someone of my height, I can say when I was little all the time.
That's very valid. Continue to be little.
As I was my height back then.
Was this scary to you? Because what was scary about this to you?
I think it's like the I was big on found footage type stuff.
Okay.
When I was of that age, when I was of that height. So like I think like 2015, right? It's
Yeah,
not. It's
yeah,
not. We don't have like the best technology on Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, Travel Channel
yeah.
type stuff. So it's like the found footage nature of it, and then maybe like I don't know. I don't like being in an like unfamiliar place, and then like I'm being watched. I'm surrounded. I like the aspect of like being surrounded by something in a
Right.
place that I'm unfamiliar with, and I don't know who I'm like supposed to be facing. I'm in a forest. I'm in a jungle. I'm in like whatever kind of open space that is not something that I know how to navigate. And I don't know. It's just I think that was what really scared me, and I think I'm trying to. Okay, let me. Cannibal in the Jungle. I do remember being low key just a little bit like put off by the how they looked.
Yeah, sure. They're very ape like in the documentary.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, they're like little big feet. I think that's probably a pretty good comparison. But yeah, they're 3 feet tall.
Relatable content.
How many? Yeah. How many do you think you could fight if it came down to it?
None at all. I would just be. I have no sort of. What is that? Self-preservation skills.
For the record, they say that a typical 4-year-old is about 3 feet tall. So like you're fighting something 4-year-old sized.
But it's like
we don't know. Again, maybe they had like kind of. Then to get into Rogan territory again here. Maybe chimp-like strength, possibly. We don't know.
Yeah, the long arms, the big feet. It's like, listen, if I'm the reach of like me throwing a punch, they're probably going to get to me before I get to them.
They are probably a little closer to chimp than to us overall, or at least their last common ancestor was closer to chimp than to us. Of course, they continued on and kind of did their own thing. But yeah, again, we don't know much about their behavior. We don't know much about really their physiology, aside from them being pretty short and had longer arms.
My God.
But we don't have any much evidence of like spears or anything. So maybe they were scavengers. Maybe they were going toe to toe with Komodo dragons and tiny elephants, which is that seems pretty tough.
Yeah, they gotta wrestle them.
Yeah. How many 4-year-olds do you think you can handle?
At 30.
Yeah.
One
4-year-old?
One. At 18.
Yeah.
2. It doesn't get better.
I think that's.
I think if I was thinking of myself at 4, I was Wile Coyote type shit.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta think the coordination's not really there at 4, though.
Yeah, but it's like what you make up for in a lack of coordination is energy. Like swinging.
Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah.
So I can't. I could have tactics, right?
Yeah. Right.
I'd be like, hold my arm out like this, and that kid is gonna be like just a little bit away from me.
Yeah.
But they might not run out of energy.
Right. But I mean, as a trained person, you got good cardio. You got sustainability. I think you could like the 4-year-old. I think would gas themselves out before they take it down.
Oh, true. Yeah, maybe maybe 18-year-old JD could fight 3.
There, 3 is 3,
and then 2 right now.
I think you got to give yourself more than one.
More than one.
You can handle more than one 4-year-old. Yeah.
What about you? 4-year-old or homie floresiensis? How many?
I would say like 4-year-olds. I think confidently I could handle 5.
Damn.
Like 5 4-year-olds right now. Because again, I'm heavier than I've been since like college now. I'm back to like 190. So I'm like, I think I can handle probably 4 or 5 toddlers.
Dang.
If they came at me, they can all come at me at the same time. If they had weapons, it's a different scenario. Obviously.
Yeah, weapons. It's just hand-to-hand combat.
In my head, I'm picturing hand-to-hand combat. Yeah. I'm thinking I could probably grab one and swing it.
Use that child as the weapon.
The child as a weapon.
Go for bowling pin style.
I'd probably want to use the same strategy against the hobbits, but depending on their strength, I could just get fucked up. Like honestly, maybe one hobbit would be able to beat my ass.
Yeah. I also have to consider hair length because my hair is like
That's fair.
grippy now. It's like
You've got it. Yeah, right.
so you could sort of swing my head around.
Yeah, if the hobbits can rip faces off, then it's over immediately.
It's over. I've just been scalped.
Yeah, right. My face is gone. I'm waiting for death.
Well, was that like Travis the chimpanzee who's on the same amount of Adderall that I am?
Is it? There's a Adderall chimp?
Oh my god, the chimp that was like raised by.
Is that the one that ripped off someone's face?
Yeah.
Oh, is he on Adderall now? Like,
I'm pretty sure he was on Adderall.
Or he was on Adderall
when that was happening.
Travis.
I think his name is Travis.
Yeah.
Did I name him?
You're right. No, it's Travis.
Yeah.
Travis is 200 pounds. Travis, that's a big chimp.
Oh, sorry, guys. It was an Adderall. It was Xanax. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Or she said she didn't give him Xanax.
You're gonna want to look up Travis. Check out the Wikipedia. I promise there's no gore. Let me make
there
sure.
Isn't. There isn't.
There's no gore. Travis is an absolute unit of a chimp, though.
Yeah. 1995.
Yeah.
I'm just a little older.
Yeah. You got a good 15 years, almost 15 years there, Travis.
Yeah, decent until
Look, things went downhill for Travis.
Things went downhill.
He
was not at a place where he should have been.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Again, I guess if the hobbits were built like Travis, I'd be fucked immediately. One hobbit would kill me.
Even on Xanax.
Maybe
and medication for Lyme disease. So.
Right. I mean, like the Hobbit, I got to think they would never have been exposed to Xanax before.
No,
so maybe
no.
if you give them Xanax right before the fight, I might have a chance.
You have a chance. Like that's like at least 3.
Not much of a chance, but like a bit of a chance.
A bit. You'd hold off a little longer.
It's kind of like the pop rock would kill a pilgrim theory, right? Like Xanax would just absolutely wreck. Give them a full bar. They're only 3 feet. There's not going to be.
Right, like do not give one a Baja Blast.
Oh no, certainly not. I don't want to amped up Hobbit off caffeine. Basically like a little legal speedball there of caffeine and sugar.
My god,
it's not what I'm trying to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking the Hobbits.
The Hobbits.
They're not very Bilbo-y.
They're not. They were not.
They were not. They were probably fighting Komodo dragons, which is kind of sick, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is like a Komodo dragon? Okay, now I am getting the recommended Komodo dragon Cannibal, and I don't want that actually. Thank you. Can Komodo dragon become a pet? Stop it.
No, they should not be.
Stop that.
Komodo dragons can reach up to 10 feet.
They were squaring the fuck up.
And weigh over 200 pounds. Females are generally smaller, reaching around 8 feet long.
Oh, sorry. Just
So, not that big. Females typically weigh 154 pounds. So we're talking like 90 kilograms to 70 kilograms range on a Komodo dragon.
I could ride one. 330, 10 feet. I like 100.
Yeah, I think they'd be fine.
Yeah, squaring up with a Komodo dragon.
That's crazy work. At 3 feet tall. At like 3 feet tall, probably like 100 pounds, right? If that, like.
Am I thinking that Komodo dragons can kind of get up a little bit?
Get up a little bit? I believe they can kind of climb, right?
They stand. Yeah, they can kind of get a little bit on their hind.
Go a little vertical. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're get it together, Mr. Homie Floresiensis. What are you at 3-something feet fighting a Komodo dragon that can stand at like minus the tail, maybe like 6 feet, right? 7 feet. That's still 2 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
fighting. Yeah. So badass little guys fighting fucking Komodo dragons, fighting rats the size of the dogs, fighting tiny elephants. Maybe zero.
Maybe zero.
Maybe zero.
Yeah.
The more I think of it.
No. I think. Yeah, no. The wingspan, ability to fight Komodo dragon, and tussle with a tiny elephant. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. We give that one. That's common Homo floresiensis W. L for Ben and JD on that.
L for
but together,
us.
maybe we could take one out.
Strategize.
That's the thing. Again, back to linguistic anthropology. We don't know if they have the capability of speech. We don't know what they were chatting about.
Yeah.
What is bro yapping about? We don't know.
What is bro? Yeah. What is he saying? Yeah, I think we could strategize to be like, you go left, go right, blah blah blah, or like, look, so pick that up, on the ground, like kind of thing. Yeah. I do think about that whole like mimicking human speech type thing.
Yeah.
And that is scary.
That was taken, I think, from Ebu Gogo lore, I believe. That's a Yeah,
that's scary because that one thing in that the dinosaur one that I'm trying to make my way watching, one of the big things about the dinosaur that they capture that's like the baddest of them all, who's like genuinely like thinking about stalking people, right? At one point it like acknowledges the camera that's watching it and monitoring it and speaks. It like starts to speak, and I was like, I'm afraid. And I know you're like, JD, a talking dinosaur? Why? You don't understand. You don't understand.
I've got a 1990s puppet show that you're gonna hate. Oh
my god, the fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I think I'm cool with them because the thing is also like I grew up with like I had a Barney that would talk. Like that was my dad's gift to me when I was a little kid, and I loved Barney.
Barney's cool. Dinosaur is potentially cool.
Yeah, but it's just like
talking photorealistic dinosaur, not okay.
Yeah, talking photorealistic dinosaur that is like in the story itself, it stalks people, right? It's not like I'm out to go and eat you immediately. No, it like purposely like sneaks up on people to attack it type shit. And like at the size that it was, they found out that it was still a baby, and it has like some sort of like other powers to it. So it's like I'm miserable. Yeah, I think it's like something that isn't supposed to be speaking, or you weren't expecting it to speak, starts talking.
Yeah.
No thanks. No thanks.
Bad trope for you.
Yeah. You hate to hear it.
Yeah, you do hate to hear it.
Yeah.
Hobbits. All right, y'all. I think that's about it. That's about the bleh. Your boy's a little sick. I apologize. That about does it on Hobbits. That's a wrap on part 1 of our series of fake documentary examinations.
Still got to workshop that name.
Yeah, I don't know. Where we go? Docudrama.
Docutrauma.
Docutrauma. There we go. Now we're cooking. Part 1 of our docutrauma. If you like the show,
write that down.
Tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy. For all our sources, please head to the website in the description below. All of our music is provided by Yager Frank. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Bye.